what up? How's it going? Hey, can they leave Howard alone? Like, whoa. Thinking back on this, like as I'm at where I'm at in the series, thinking back on it, Howard has just been trying to keep this ship afloat this entire fucking time. And is this the thanks he gets? If I'm him, I'd be like, listen, Kim, I know you're feeling yourself and that's your man and all that, but fuck you and him. You owe me, motherfucker, for real. Like, don't get it twisted. Your ass would still be in a motherfucking mailroom if it wasn't for me. Like, listen, it don't matter if it's true or anything. You got to go in them sort of times. As y'all can see, I felt a certain way about how Howard, this whole time, everything's been going on, but Howard's been over here just like, guys, I'm trying to keep this shit going. Lose a client here, try to gain a client, lower yourself, make sure that the reputation stays afloat. Have a man who's mentally not all the way there and you trying to help him and you found him a job and he didn't want to accept it and everything goes haywire. And then his brother's girl come at you. That'd have been the last straw for me. I don't give a fuck. I don't care why she did it. I don't give a fuck about all that. If I'm Howard, I'd be like, B word. Let's go ahead and start the show. Pops. Okay, they are doing what I thought. They're setting it up to look like, hey, he got taken out. I was like, what's going on here? But that makes sense. Just dropping shells and glass everywhere. That's dope. Hey, try to keep the body fresh.
Can I make the call now? Gotta make it look real.
Yeah. Like a shot in a, yeah. People, if they would have just saw that, they'd be like, come on, man.
Before you pass out.
He's called the Merry Wanderer. He's not much to look at. He's pretty easy to find. I got this one at a pawn shop on 4th for $20. But he has a cousin called Bavarian Boy. Almost identical. Same umbrella, same swagger. That one is worth a boatload. To them, it's not Bavarian Boy. It's just some piece of junk Grandma gave me that I feel too guilty to get rid of. And that's where you come in. They're not even gonna know it's gone. They look over at the shelf, they just see the same dumb tchotchke staring at them they've been looking at for years. There's no serial number. These things are practically untraceable.
And how did you come across this valuable wunderkind?
What difference does it make?
Guys in the office cross you? Done you wrong? Pass.
What? Why?
It's not for me.
Not for you?
You heard him.
Is there some problem I'm not seeing, like with the swap or something?
Plan's fine as far as it goes. It's just not for me. And I don't think it should be for you either. I'm sorry about your brother.
Yeah, so I talked about this, like how he looked down his nose at those dudes. He was able to hustle them, right? And you know, he looked that same way at his pops. So I saw somebody in the comment section brought that up too. But then also, this is him going back to Old Faithful, the hustle. You know what I mean? It's sort of that thing that he automatically, it's how he deals with things, right?
kidneys.
That boy dehydrated.
Listen, Kim, I just wanted to say how sorry I am about Charles McGill. It's no secret I had problems with the man, but no one should go like that. And I just have to ask, how's James handling it?
Oh, he's getting through it.
Kim, you have got to see the models.
The models?
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Takes your breath away, doesn't it? The whole side of this building is glass, and it's on a north-facing lot. I'm told that's energy efficient, so I'm excited about that.
This is Salt Lake City?
After Provo, why not?
Cheyenne, Wyoming?
Yep. Over here, North Platte, Nebraska. Here on this side, you got a few new ones. Sedona, Pueblo, Colorado. And you know what? That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Lubbock.
Amarillo, San Antonio, El Paso.
Wait, who's in Lubbock? Is it Baylor or TCU? I can't remember.
Boise, Bend, Oregon.
It's a lot. It's a very fast, aggressive expansion.
Kevin figures once we get our foothold in Utah, then we'll file for federal charter.
All your hard work is making a difference. I mean, Kim, this is what it's all about.
Instead of taking me home, drop me off at the courthouse, would you?
Oh, I didn't realize you had an appearance today. I would have prepped.
No, I don't.
You don't?
Nothing to prep. Don't worry about it.
Fuck you doing, Kim?
Give me that.
It doesn't work that way. No direct contact. That's the point.
Just give it to me.
Why would you give him the goddamn phone?
This is the interested party. I have one question.
Well, you barely
for
put up a fight.
Do you shit? Well, then in 8 minutes, you're going to make $4 grand. 10 minutes if you decide to pick your nose. In, out, no one comes looking for you ever. How does that sound?
I had to leave a bullet in your shoulder. Might set off metal detectors from now on. Gave you a dose of broad-spectrum antibiotics.
Now understand this. After I walk out of here, I never want to see you again. Never. This cartel shit is too hot for me. You got it?
That man got dead serious. Got dead in his ear. Ain't this a bitch? Oh, this is fucked. Uh-oh. Wait till he get in that bathroom and be out. Oh. He just drunk, huh? He ain't even got the bubble guts. He just a drunk mess. His wife kicked him out the house. The business is going to shit. Why am I giving him a full backstory? Like, I don't know anything about this man. Oh, no. This is terrible. Oh.
It's me. Can we talk, please?
Yeah.
I just want to come home.
Let that man come home.
I'm sorry if you feel upset. It was not my intention
For you to feel upset.
for you to feel upset.
He's going to be sleeping there all
My
night.
intention was, you're saying I'm a thoughtless, that I don't care, but it is a very, very expensive vacuum. Are you still delivering?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you son of a
Just a
bitch.
large cheese.
Hey, how'd it go? Listen. Look, the office guy, he's here.
What?
He's dug in for the night, man. Come get me, or come get me.
Urgency comes from the environment. It presses upon you. Its proximate is right in front of you. And it's often very popular.
Come on. Come on. Let's go. Run. Oh, shit. You got to do it one more time. You got to keep doing it because you got to force him to come out.
Hey, so did you get it?
Shit and gold.
Yeah, right?
I didn't say it was easy. Car thing was pretty slick. I don't know how you pulled that off.
Worked though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Someone knows our business.
Possibly.
It resembled the attack on Hector's truck a few months ago, and they knew the Salamanca men were heavy.
Done one.
We are about to run another shipment. if you think we're compromised.
Run dummy loads. We'll see what we see. No product crosses until we're certain.
How long before our dealers run dry? No more than a week.
This is a problem. Find a local supplier on your side of the border. Cut a deal.
Don Juan, with all due respect, Don Eladio forbids buying from outsiders. It's been very clear.
Let me worry about Eladio.
What the scholarship? Is this what I'm thinking it is?
Oh, I tested your samples. They range from 39% to 58% pure, except this one, which hovers around 67. Top of the class, so to speak. You should tell the chemist to check
67.
his or her cookware. It's introducing contamination, which would be easy to avoid.
Oh, thank you very much, Gail. That's very useful information.
I don't want to cast aspersions, but I have to tell you.
They trash.
These samples aren't great. In fact, they're not even good. I could do much better.
Gail.
Much higher grade. I could make a kilo or more right here. No one would know. Wouldn't take more than a few days. I wouldn't let you down.
Oh. I'm certain that you wouldn't. But I'm afraid I can't allow it. Not yet. You were meant for better things. I'll see you soon.
Like a bullet in the fucking face.
Bye, Mr. Frank.
Here's what's crazy about all of this. Everybody else, they're just going through life and they end up where we see them on Breaking Bad. This motherfucker Fring had been planning where he ended up at on Breaking Bad. Like, all of this shit was a play. Like, even that shit where he's like, Don Eladio doesn't want us using outsiders. And he's like, you let me worry about Eladio, right? Like,
Jimmy, there's just a couple of things from talking to Howard that maybe we ought to go through. Basically, that you won't contest the will.
If I sign it, I get my share.
That's about the size of it.
So, how much do I get?
5,000.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I can pay off my MasterCard. Dear Jimmy, I have left many things unsaid in our relationship through the years. Rather than allow these unspoken thoughts to die with me, I've chosen to record them here for you. I hope you will take my words in the spirit in which they are intended. New paragraph. I remember quite clearly the day you came home from the hospital. You can't imagine the joy on Mom's face. I can honestly say I never saw her happier than she was on that day. You brought a shine to her life that nothing else ever did, and I'm glad of that. New paragraph. We have not always seen eye to eye. I expect that will continue to be so in the future. However, nothing will ever change the fact that we are brothers, flesh and blood.
Look at her about to cry.
I sincerely admire your energy and resilience. I used to worry about you finding a place in the world, but I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm certain now that no matter what the future may bring, you'll land on your feet, and I hope when you read this, you remember me not only as your brother, but as a person you knew was always in your corner. He signed it just Chuck. Wow, say what you want. Man could write a letter.
No, I didn't mean to make it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a nice letter. Hey.
No, just give me a minute.
Interesting.
Kim.
First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And I have a Patreon with full-length early reactions to things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. So it's interesting to see Jimmy in his own way deal with things. Jimmy and Chuck both had issues that they were dealing with, and they manifest in different ways. And we are quite familiar with how it manifested with Chuck. When Chuck felt the stress of his relationship with his brother, you saw it. I mean, you hear he's going in and out of it, and that wasn't the only thing that played into his mental state, but it did play into that, right? It was something that would affect it. Right? Because we saw there was other things, like what happened with Howard and his career affected him in that sort of way. But when it came to his brother, you would see that happen also. And with Jimmy, the way it manifests is through the hustle. And it was interesting in this episode that they just let certain things, they will let certain things play out. And you're like, how's this going to go, right? So we're watching the guy attempt. Well, first off, he goes and asks Mike. And Mike like, nah, it's not for me. And it's really not for you. And he's like, I heard about your brother. Right? So he understands. He if there's one thing about him, he could piece together people. But this was something that he attached on to that I won't say it's cathartic, but it's keeping his mind off of the actual situation with his brother. And now the thing that was so interesting about it was it wasn't like he was doing it, he was hiring somebody else to do it. So that's why that's where that was interesting. And the fact that they even showed the entire ordeal, that was dope. Then you have Kim, who is expressing the emotion in this situation. And this is why this is interesting to me, because I don't know if I said this out loud but I've always thought, yo, she is strong. Like, she's sturdy. She's staying tough. Even when the whole thing happened with her, she was just in shock. Shorty was in shock. It wasn't like she was like, oh, my life. Oh. She was just like, you know what I mean? Life is starting to wear on her. She's already kind of stated in the past that, like, she thought of being a lawyer in a different sort of way, like that sort of world-changing type of deal, sort of activist lawyer type of thing. And what you wonder is, as she was looking at the expansion, was she second-guessing what she was partaking in? Which, yeah, we had already kind of figured was kind of second-guessing the lawyer thing, but specifically the Mesa Verde part of it, it's kind of like, you know. But then, last episode, she lashes out at Howard. She did that. And then in this next episode, as Jimmy is reading, and it's like careening off of him, everything that's being said. Now, I made a joke about Chuck not liking him. I didn't say anything about love. Chuck, every once in a while, he looked down his nose on his brother. Like, for instance, loves his brother. When he came and talked to him when he was locked up, and he had to tell him, hey, this is the last straw. You thought he liked him in that moment? Nah, there was plenty of moments where he had a dislike for his brother, pretty much a disdain. And so I'm on episode 8, season 1, as far as editing. And I noticed how when he lets Chuck know, he's like, you proud of me? He's like, yeah. You helped me with a job? Oh, yeah. You know, and we know how that went, right? He did really help him, but Howard went down there and had to tell him, no, you ain't getting this. 6 months, we'll see. And it never took place, right? But, so that was kind of crazy, right? But when it was right in front of his face, when Chuck saw the files, and he said it was like getting Tom Sawyer to paint the fence or whatever, which was dope. So Chuck worked on it with him, the elder law thing. And then they were going in and they're looking into paperwork, and this is a moment that stuck out with me when I'm looking at this. Jimmy saw something. He looked at the paperwork. He saw something. And Chuck wasn't like, oh, good job. Yo, that's like some dope lawyer work. You know what Chuck said? I looked over that. I missed it. And at that moment, that wasn't about him sort of shitting on Jimmy, but it just so happened at the same moment that Jimmy was attempting to move ahead and he was sort of on the fast track, Chuck was stagnant and felt a way about it. Jimmy almost became a barometer for Chuck, and Chuck is like, oh, no. And then cut to $20 million, right? And that all happens in episode 8. And it's just interesting to see now we have Jimmy knowing how his brother saw him at certain moments and knowing how his brother, the last words he expressed to him, knowing how he couldn't help his brother, but his brother was like, hey, don't apologize. Don't be sorry. So he's like, okay, that was just crazy. You can see Kim expecting, like when he said the 5, and he's like, yeah, pay off my MasterCard, right? And then he reads the letter, and she was waiting for the emotion, like edge of her seat, and it's not coming, but now it's flourishing through her. What's interesting about Gus is everybody else, we see them just living life, okay? And eventually they end up at that ending point of Breaking Bad. But that's not what Gus is. Gus got a plan. That motherfucker, to see Gale, when he's walking through the college, all I can think of, scholarship, right? Right after he gets off the phone with the Don, he's like, yo, Don Eladio said, no, we can't work with our outside folks. He's like, let me worry about that. It's like, okay. And you're like, oh, they're saying this. He's been setting and working this shit up. But the thing about it is, stuff is happening around him and he's dealing with it as it happens. He saw Ignacio try to put his plan out of commission, right? Like basically tried to get Salamanca out of commission. So he dealt with it how he did. And to make it look like it was this big shootout, we're going to do dummy shipments so we can watch this. So he has everything going into play. And I feel like all of that is to make him, how I want to put this, to make him like damn near autonomous on that side of the border. Right? Like, because right now it's all about them getting the shipment over to him and then everything's running through him. But we see what he has in store, what his plan is, even through working with Gale. And it's still, that wasn't even the plan yet. Because Gale is like, hey, I can help you. This shit is trash. 67 was the best, right? And he's like, I can do this. And he's like, nah, look, things will come for you, right? Hey, next episode.